Imagine absolute, unquestioning innocence. Now imagine someone taking that pure innocence, twisting it, and using it as a direct tool for mass deception. Author Mitch Albom has spent his career dissecting morality, spirituality, and our shared human mortality. In his novel, The Little Liar, he channels those themes through an 11-year-old boy named Nico. Nico is famous in his community for an unbending trait: he has never told a lie. Dropping a perfectly honest child into the machinery of the Holocaust sets up an emotional collision. The premise guarantees a devastating experience for the reader. The story begins in the picturesque coastal city of Salonika, Greece, during World War II. A cruel Nazi officer named Udo Graf notices Nico's sterling reputation. He exploits it, tricking the boy into standing at the local train station and reassuring his fellow Jewish citizens that the trains they are boarding will take them to new homes and better jobs. Engaging with historical fiction of this weight drains your emotional bandwidth. It requires you to stare directly at horrifying human cruelty. To figure out if you are ready for that, we need to run an emotional ROI analysis. We have a checklist here to weigh the heavy emotional effort against the payoff, measuring if you are seeking meaningful fiction, how you are managing your current emotional bandwidth, and if you are wary of standard historical tropes. Your time and mental energy are valuable assets. Taking on this book requires knowing exactly what kind of journey lies on the other side of page 1. The boldest choice Albom makes is his narrative device. The story is told directly from the perspective of truth itself. Truth acts as an impartial observer and an empathetic guide. It constantly steps back from the plot to dissect why humans are so obsessed with deceiving each other and themselves. The obvious comparison here is Markus Zusak's The Book Thief, which famously used death as its narrator. Where death provided a grim, inevitable framing, Aldom's Truth offers a macro-level philosophical dissection of human nature. There is a cost to this choice. A conceptual narrator creates an initial emotional distance from the human characters on the ground until you acclimate to the rhythm of the voice. Once you adjust, this perspective frames the historical events as a moral parable. That moral parable is tested by Udo Graf, the manipulative officer who weaponizes Nico's pure reputation against his own people. Eventually, Nico discovers the reality of his actions. He realizes the soothing words he spoke were actually sending his neighbors directly to Auschwitz. The realization completely shatters Nico's identity. The boy who could never lie spends the rest of his life unable to tell the truth. You will have to endure extreme narrative darkness during these chapters. This tone matrix chart maps out the experience. The horizontal axis measures scale, from intimate character study to sweeping epic, and the vertical axis measures tone, from bleak to hopeful. When Nico realizes what he has done, the story plunges deep into this bottom left quadrant, highly intimate and incredibly bleak. Sitting with that intense discomfort is a requirement. Albom forces you into the darkness so that his eventual themes of redemption actually feel earned rather than cheap. The narrative structure shifts significantly to earn that redemption. The novel does not stop when World War II ends. Instead, the scope widens. It tracks the intertwined lives of Nico, his fiercely protective brother Sebastian, their childhood friend Fanny, and the unrepentant Udo across multiple continents and decades. The theme transitions from immediate wartime survival to long-term survivor's guilt. Looking at our tone matrix, you can see this trajectory line. Over the decades, the story moves out of that intimate bleak corner, stretching up into a sweeping, hopeful epic in the top right. This structure sacrifices the tight, claustrophobic pacing of a traditional war novel. In exchange, it offers expansive generational closure. Stretching the timeline across decades is the exact mechanism Albom uses to transition a story of pure tragedy into a narrative of healing. Ultimately, Albom's message is about the destructive mechanics of lies and the restorative power of the truth. The novel operates on a central thesis: a lie is a thief. It steals the truth from the listener, but it also steals the soul from the teller. Yet, despite the bleak realities of the Holocaust, Albom weaves his signature optimism, forgiveness, and focus on human redemption throughout the text. Albom shows that while deception ruins lives, the truth possesses the power to set people free. To help you decide if you should read this now, later, or skip it entirely, we have built a reader match scorecard, breaking down 3 distinct reader archetypes. First, the Albom loyalist. If you expect his usual spiritual and philosophical depth, you will get exactly what you want here. It is an ideal match. Next, the historical fiction buff. Fans of unique narrators and underrepresented settings like Salonika will love this, with one caveat: you have to accept Albom's inherent optimism as part of the package. Finally, the casual or mood reader. Because of the heavy upfront emotional cost, proceed with caution if you are currently low on emotional bandwidth. If you read primarily for your current mood, intentionally save this tearjerker for a time when you have the mental energy to process tragedy on the way to an uplifting ending. A lie steals from the listener, but investing your time in The Little Liar offers a profound return. It is a highly demanding read, but one that rewards you if you are ready to face the truth.